basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality.
So math is racist. Math is racist, guys, yeah! What do you mean? What the f*** do you even mean? What is she saying? I don't get it. Oh my god. I feel like I'm getting punked. I feel like I'm getting punked all of the time lately. Like, I'll see like that, or I'll just watch the f***ing news for 3 minutes, and I'm like, righto guys, where are the cameras? Where are they? Joke's over. And there's no f***ing cameras. It's not a joke! This is the f***ed up world that we live in. Like, who the f*** decided that lunatic should be on the television? Hey? Saying that 2 + 2 isn't 4, it might be 5. You never know. Let's not be racist, guys. We are so
I feel like she summed up 2021 quite nicely. What is going on, everybody? This is Israel, also known as Izzy-Centric on social media. I have already had to redo this once, and let's just hope that I don't have to do that again. This video is mostly pertaining to Christians, but I will say this as well. This is about freedom in the United States in general, and for that matter, freedom in the entire world. I have stayed silent on this issue long enough. I am no longer part of the silent majority. I'm speaking up about this. What is going on in this country is wicked and evil. And we are going to be pulling up some things that are quite prophetic. I have some prophecies that are going to be in this clip. And it's going to be a really interesting ride for you guys, as you're going to see. We're starting off with a clip from a man by the name of Ken Clement. He passed away in 2016. He was a prophet, and he had this prophecy in 2014, I believe in February.
They will shout, impeach, impeach, but this shall not happen. And then God says, highly embarrassing moments when another Snowden arises. And people will become very afraid. They'll say, we have no protection. And then God says, am I impressed with your weapons of war? Am I impressed with the strength of your men's legs? Ha! I have said I will bring this nation to its knees. And God said, you have been humbled. And yet some more, and then you shall hear the sounds of great victory.
He says they'll shout impeach, impeach. This is before Donald Trump really showed up on the horizon. But as we know, ironically enough, he says impeach twice. And Donald Trump was impeached twice, unsuccessfully as well. The next Snowden, which I totally believe because it happened literally later that morning when I went to kind of brainstorm on this video. It was later that morning that I found out about Julian Assange getting arrested, and it made me realize, wow, he kind of fits the bill. For those of you who do not know who Julian Assange is, I'll show you just a little bit here. Try to get you caught up to speed.
I was a famous teenage computer hacker in Australia, and I've been reading generals' emails since I was 17.
Now the man at the centre of it all says he's fighting for his life, extraordinarily, in this British court. He says he's the victim of a conspiracy to punish him for exposing US crimes.
Assange is wanted in the States on 18 criminal charges, including breaking a spying law, but mostly for publishing classified documents, after his group published thousands of secret classified files and diplomatic cables in 2010.
Julian Assange is a whistleblower, just like Snowden was. Ironically enough, Julian Assange also owns WikiLeaks, which is the platform that Edward Snowden used to blow the lid off of the NSA spying on us. This next man by the name of Isaac Butterfield, I'm going to let him speak for a few moments on this. He made an entire video on our freedom being in jeopardy, which he's right. He is absolutely right. This is getting very serious. We're talking about an Orwellian 2 + 2 = 5 beast that's come onto the horizon. It's ridiculous. And we know what this is turning into.
You have a chance right now to correct all that bullshit designed to protect and secure power for governments and large corporations around the world. It's a global challenge that we must meet now, or perhaps our future may be a place we don't want to be a part of.
And as you can see the headline of that clip, the CIA was in fact looking to kill Julian Assange. This is beyond cancel culture. This is beyond your words offend me, or beyond that. This is serious. Anyway, I'm going to let him continue here.
These governments are embarrassed, and they are seeking to have WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, locked away forever because he has exposed embarrassing truths that they wish no one knew about.
That is an interesting choice of words. What was the rest of Kim's prophecy again?
Highly embarrassing moments when another Snowden arises.
Embarrassed. Highly embarrassing moments. Next Snowden. I'd say Julian Assange is starting to fit the bill. I think the only thing left to fill this prophecy would be weapons of war.
And then God says, am I impressed with your weapons of war? Am I impressed with the strength of your men's legs? Ha!
Lest we forget what was released to the world by Julian Assange.
It's April 2010, and this video depicting what looks like a war crime goes around the world.
Come on. Oh yeah, look at that, right through the windshield.
11 people killed by a US helicopter in Iraq, including 2 journalists. Secret material obtained by WikiLeaks, the organization run by this man, Julian Assange.
You think they'll get in trouble for that? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Expose government files. Government says, hey, how'd you get in here? This isn't fair. I'm going to go as far as to try to assassinate you. Here we are in this position where it's like, yeah, but who gets to put you on trial? Or are you that protected that we get to sit here and watch a monarchy get built as we sit back and we have people screaming 2 + 2 = 5 at us? The next question would be, what are we specifically Christians going to do about this? What can we do? Well, what we shouldn't do is what our last generation of Christians did, which was absolutely nothing.
Eli was dim-sighted and lazy, and he was not taking care of business, so to speak, in the kingdom and in the temple. And God changed his mind and said, I chose you by Aaron to be the priest forever, but now I say to you, I will not, you are no longer the priest, and your family will not be the priests.
Imagine pissing God off so much that you change his mind. And here we have Eli and his priesthood did change God's mind. God said, I'm not using you anymore. Forget it. Now, our last generation of Christians, I've heard a lot of them speak as I grew up. I was born in 92, okay? I just turned 29, as a matter of fact. There's a point I'm making here. Kim's making it too. He's comparing the priesthood that did nothing except be greedy and not do what he was supposed to do to what the last generation of Christians did, which was absolutely zero, nada, nothing. Collect the tithe, bring it in, thank you so much, sit down, shut up, there's the spot in your pew, don't say a word, don't ask questions. Gifts of the Holy Spirit don't work like they did 2,000 years ago. We are predestined to be in this situation. Cessationist Christians. Now, Kim is a lot nicer than I am about this because this checks all the boxes of what makes me angry about American Christianity. Watch the correlation closely of what he makes here.
And I noticed this throughout the kingdom and throughout the church on the earth. Well, not the whole church, but I noticed that there was a despising of the offering because of manipulators, because of televangelists that would give you all kinds of false promises. And I noticed that the majority of the body of Christ, when you spoke about giving, they became angry or bitter or didn't want to listen.
And I want to clarify, actually, it's not all cessationists. It's not all non-believers of the Holy Spirit. Because we had a lot of televangelists, we still freaking do, that make a lot of false promises, a lot of false prophecies, taking advantage of people's wallets. This is mostly American Christianity we're talking about. Not all of American Christianity. I'm sure there's other parts of the world where they're having this issue. But the last generation, this is what they did.
Because he ministered the Lord, God spoke to him and said, it is the end of an era of this evil priesthood. And I say to you that there is a spirit of Samuel on the earth now. Through these young children, through these young kids that are being born at this time, there is a generation, they are sick and tired of religion.
Currently, we are having a great falling away, and many Christians, instead of them looking internally and asking, hey, is there anything we did wrong, they blame the ones that run away. God's sheep are scattering, and the majority of churches are saying, well, that's their problem, not mine. They're looking for Jesus elsewhere if they can't find Christ in your church. Granted, not all Christians who leave your church and start falling away are looking for Christ. Many are looking for a different kind of Christ. Many are looking for a false Christ. That is true. Progressive Christianity is all over the place right now. Torah observance is starting to rip Christians apart as well. The same spirit that has affected Jehovah's Witness, that movement. And it grieves the Holy Spirit every time we split off like this. That's why I'm not a big fan of Protestants in general. It's a shame that Protestant has the word protest in it. These divides, God does not like this. Now in this next clip, Kim Clement starts talking about Capernaum, the stronghold of Capernaum that comes down.
Here is the Son of God speaking to a spiritual force, an area, a region. You are exalted to heaven, but you will be brought down to hell. Now listen to me carefully. That was a prophetic proclamation over Capernaum and that region. Now he speaks the words. It's in the atmosphere, it's in the heavens, and the heavens have been clogged over Capernaum and that region because of the exaltation of that demonic power over Capernaum.
For those of you who like video games, consider this. The game Shadow of War. You go in and you start knocking these strongholds down, right? I remember I used to sit there and just slaughter orcs left and right. All the time. Until my thumbs would get sore. And then I would finally tear down the stronghold by taking over. You gotta beat like the boss of the area or whatever. I haven't played it in a little while. But the point is, Far Cry games do this. There's a lot of games that actually do this. Enemies keep spawning, and the only way to stop that is by taking down the stronghold. Remember, Ephesians 6:12, our war is not in flesh and blood. How do we take down, for example, our Capernaum? How do we tear it down? Prayer on the offense. We Christians have the authority to cast out evil spirits. We have authority to, with prayer, attack the enemy. And we have a Capernaum that is in our White House.
There is a lack of peace because there is a lack of accomplishment in the spirit world. We have very little joy. They came and said to him with joy, even the demons are subject to us in your name. Why? Because you're so powerful? No! Because Christ spoke and prophesied over the region, and that demonic stronghold that was stopping miracles, stopping freedom, was brought down.
When Jesus had his 12 disciples, he had them do things. He didn't have them sit around doing nothing. There's a reason. We must follow the example of Christ. We must follow what did the disciples do? Because sitting around and doing nothing was not one of those things. Waiting on things to happen was not one of those things.
That light was the prophetic word that Jesus had spoken. All he needed was somebody in agreement on earth. So it was spoken in the heavens, but it had to come to pass on earth, transpire on earth. That's you.
I have never agreed more with a prophecy in my entire life. God has had me look up so many prophecies this last couple of weeks. It has been unreal. I haven't wanted to touch it because politically it might have my channel shut down or whatever. And I'll tell you, there's another guy, his name's Ty Jackson. I'm going to get ready to go and show you this right now. He's another prophet, and his prophecy lines right up with Kim Clement's prophecy. Take a look at this. So here's what Ty says. He says, as I was praying, I asked God, was Billy Graham going to pass away this year? I heard yes. I then saw something like party items in heaven, symbolically representing heaven celebrating because they had just gained a man that God has used greatly on this earth. It is almost like heaven is at attention out of respect for the Lord Jesus when one of his great generals of the faith makes his entrance. Notice that generals is all capitalized. That's important. As I am seeing this, I am greatly encouraged to finish my race. I now see something like mantles decreed from heaven coming upon many men and women, and children too. I see a move of God coming that is almost reminiscent of the latter rain movement and the move of God around 1948. The Holy Spirit has and is conditioning new generals to arise, and many of these generals will be young. God will do this to break the tradition that a general in the faith must be old/older. There will be believers with the spirit of religion. Spirit of religion.
There is a generation, they are sick and tired of religion.
That will be jealous and still condemn these that God is raising. However, God will exit these if they fight against him. This passing will be a sign of planting of a seed so others will grow in connection to revival/awakening. Are you following? A mantle being given to the next generation, including children. I'm 29. I'm a part of this generation. And I have felt in my spirit that there must be something that I have to do. And many of you feel this as well, which is one of many reasons why God has me doing this video. I want to reiterate this. I had no intention on making this video. And when I saw that the Billy Graham prophecy was a part of this, as far as Ty goes, I couldn't help but notice that his death had defined a new generation. That this was when the mantle was going to get passed down. Well, it just so happens that my birthday is November 7th, which is the birthday of Billy Graham. And if Billy Graham's death can define the next generation, what does a birthday say? Anyway, just something interesting I thought I could share with you guys. Ironically, and yeah, I keep forgetting, yeah, my birthday was just yesterday too. Oh, that's cool. This next clip here is the reason I ended up doing this video. Jim Caviezel ended up making he made this big speech a couple of weeks ago about standing up for what you believe in, freedom of speech, speaking up about the tyranny that is going on in our society today. This is the video that God pulled me by the ear as hard as he could to get my attention, and boy did he.
When Satan has told his own, he knows what our answer is going to be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of his Cold War, and someday when the time is right to deliver his final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because you see, by then we will have been so weakened from within, spiritually, morally, economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better red than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees with his mask on than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us.
No, they don't speak for the rest of us, and if we continue to stay silent, those will be the only voices that speak, which is one of many reasons Jim ended up making this video. He even made a comment on the Pope. I'm not going to pull it up here, but I mean, he gets really passionate here. With the mantle being passed down to the next generation, I'm speaking to many of you right now. Maybe something is in here that has been causing you to think, I can't stay silent anymore about this. We need to fight back. We are warriors in Christ.
My fellow Christian warriors, set yourselves apart from this corrupt generation. Be saints. We weren't made to fit in. We were born to stand out.
10, 20 years from now, imagine relatives, your own children possibly, coming up to you and asking you about this time that we're living in, because we're making history right now. What do you want to tell them? What are you gonna tell them? And if it takes me getting my YouTube channel taken down, if this happens to blow up, then so be it. At least all of you will know the side I'm on as I get taken down.
Kind of reminds me of the words that Mel Gibson first intoned in his Academy Award-winning film Braveheart. But you can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom. Every man dies. Not every man truly lives. You. We must fight for that authentic freedom and live, my friends. By God, we must live. And with the Holy Spirit as your shield and Christ as your sword, may you join Saint Michael and all the angels in defending God and sending Lucifer and his henchmen straight right back to hell where they belong.
I never even watched the film Braveheart, and this was still amazing to me. As I say this, the vaccine mandates are on a complete hold, which is quite interesting. I live in South Carolina, and my governor has completely stopped the mandates from going through on a state level. Anyway, that's basically it here. I pray I helped somebody with this video, but at least now you all know my stance. I am absolutely against this Capernaum that is in the White House. Alright, ending the video here. I gotta get going. Don't forget to like and comment. So I will see you all in the next video. Take care. I can't think of it. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, I'll see you guys.
Effort to control my mind.
Oh, I do have something to say. Yeah, forgot to add this. Let's go, Brandon.
Well, you'll have to take my head, 'cause I'll